patrons. I always fluff that, but I, in the last 24 hours or so, have had some interesting downloads about Neptune transiting through Pisces. And in fact, it does tie into Pluto in Capricorn and these sort of heavy outreaching planets that are often referred to as like collective planets. So their transits are much more about our collective energies. And something hit me about like Neptune is connected to Pisces, the dreamy kind of void and the depth of the ocean and the sort of psychic realms or quantum realms, right, of our psyche. And increasingly, I'm feeling into how all of the planets are reflective of an aspect of our own psyche and how we work and how we show up in the world, etc. And and then it hit me about like Neptune is in Pisces, which is the final sign, which is like the ending. And Pluto, we know, is transiting through Capricorn. So there's an ending of a cycle of power. And then Neptune, more of our dreamy spiritual aspect, is wrapping up its cycle through the zodiac, which really suddenly hit me around, wow, we really are going through a collective death. And of course, it connects to our perception, it connects to our spirituality, it connects to our connection. And so these next few years, right, because in my awareness, Neptune will be in Pisces until 2027. We have Uranus that will be transiting out of Taurus around 2026. And this year and into next, Pluto's been transiting into Aquarius. And that to me is really profound around our own shift of consciousness, and especially Neptune, because I feel like, in a sense, like Neptune really is the awakener and it's the harmonizer of our psyche and also the depth. And so these last anaretic degrees of Pisces that Neptune's going to be transiting are, whether we like it or not, stimulating, purging, triggering all of these delusional aspects of our psyche, which we all, I dare say, we all have. And yet these greater practices of self-responsibility for us as a people, I think, are what we're having to lean into. So as sovereign spiritual beings, we're having to be responsible for our own spiritual connection, our own health and well-being. And yet we collectivize eventually from that place of self-responsibility versus the separation consciousness, which has us giving power to external authority bodies that then dictate to us what we can and cannot do. And most importantly, how we can or cannot connect to ourselves, right? Obviously, you know this, we're coming from a perspective of love, compassion, greater empathy. And so, you know, to me, Neptune is ushering in the depth of that responsibility. And then I started to have other insights around the axis of the planet, and we talk about these larger cycles that bring about great catastrophe, really, and like say like Neptune, water disasters, the rising waters, like water, disasters, and then also accidents, troubling things that happen on the water. And then actually we're made up mostly of water as well. And I guess there's a greater connectivity to our own elemental nature and drawing. Why is there a rise in astrology and spirituality? Because there's a deep inner knowing of our cosmic and earthly connections, and to be earthing or to be grounding our energies from spirit into earth, relinquishing control. Because that's another thing I think with these big transits is that they're a bigger part of us all, right? They're connecting us all to these broader aspects, the higher abilities for us to use advanced technology that requires great responsibility. And again, that's the Uranian, Neptunian, Plutonian shifting that's affecting us all. And certainly, again, with Neptune being in that middle point, ending its cycle through the zodiac, I just feel like this is it. Like this is that big spiritual purge, because once Uranus transits into Gemini, and then but by that point Pluto's fully in Aquarius, the Neptune transiting into Aries is really going to trigger this, like, all at once, like a rising up of a certain portion of our humanity, and also a deepening connectivity to our spiritual essence, because that's, in to me, the transit from Neptune to Aries is that's what's going to birth the new consciousness after we've died to the old, especially because by that point we're going to, by 2026, 27, more of the human consciousness will bear witness to corrupted, delusional perspectives. So that's a little bit of a insight. You know, sometimes, do you guys ever get this? Like sometimes the inner noodlings are so like, and then endeavoring to put them into spoken word is another thing. However, it's part of my purpose. Also, I'll share the link when I get it, but I was lucky enough, I've been working with a relationship coach for a few months, and I was lucky enough to get a human design reading as part of the package. And I'm still like ingesting it, and yet I'm seeing the profundity of that as a system of self-awareness, especially when you work with astrology and you're already working with things like yoga that talk about the energy centers in our bodies. And once you learn your human design, it can be pretty affirmative with regards to like why you need what you need, why you're being guided. And so that is an aspect in my own human design chart, the way some of my upper energy centers connect. There is like, I guess, a gift you could say around like explaining or discerning these concepts, right? And allowing them to land, and then how to put them into practice. Because, as somebody with a strong Neptune placement with regards to attune, and again, it's in my human design chart where I have this closed energy center, which is a spleen, which is the intuition and sort of psychic thing. So I always have access to that. And so and yet I need people to like feedback and bounce ideas off of, and also invitations. So and that is so true. Like I was invited to teach yoga, and through those invitations I ended up teaching and just following that path. And tarot, being asked and invited to do tarot. So it's like that, depending on our human design chart, a lot of things can make sense, and it can help us drop certain layers of resistances, as in because we're acting in ways that are actually out of alignment of our pure energy center. So it's kind of super affirmative, groundbreaking, a reminder that everything that we need comes to us when we need it or when we're ready for it. Yeah, and then I'm excited to just work with that knowledge and work with that awareness and share it with you guys. And then when my reader is ready to go with the link, I'll definitely share the link for his if you're interested in getting a reading. Highly recommend. Okie doke. So there's a little bit of a insight around our big blue planet of Neptune, in slightly in connection to the heavy players of our Uranus and our Pluto energies. These next few years are, I dare say, are going to continue to be intense and really shapeshifty. So from our perspective, from the Alta Love perspective, the more we can ground, stay present, be in the heart, be in the body, pardon me, be in community, stay connected where possible, and just keep loving. We'll crack on, we'll carry on as best we can. I love you guys loads. Thank you for being part of the Patreon community and supporting the channel. And I feel like I've got like a bruise or something on my face. Anyway, we're gonna ignore that. Take care. Have a great day, you guys. I'll speak to you soon. Peace out.